My name is Savannah Stevenson, and I am a sophomore at Fitch High School. In today's podcast, we have a very special guest, Fitch algebra teacher, Miss Akers. Welcome. We will be discussing her life as a teacher.
And my name is Faith, and I am a freshman.
Do you want a drink that is going to help you finish the school day with no tiredness?
Have y'all ever heard of Celsius before? If you haven't, where have you been? Celsius is an energy drink that has vitamin C and 200 milligrams of caffeine to get you through the school day.
Now for our special guest, Miss Akers. Welcome again to the show.
Thank you, guys.
Why did you choose to focus on math as a content area?
Well, before I was a teacher, I was an electrical engineer. And so I had a lot of math with that degree. So I had a lot of math background as it was. I wasn't always really good at math in school before that. And so I felt like it would be a good idea to help other people, with math.
Where did you go to college, and why did you want to become a teacher?
I went to college at YSU. And so again, like I said, I started out as an engineer. And I did that because people said, well, you're good at math and you'll make a lot more money doing that. But I have always wanted to be a teacher. So I went back to school to YSU a second time. And so I got a second degree in education. And so I wanted to do that since as soon as I can remember. I remember me and my little sister. I would make her play school all the time. I had a grade book that I actually had, and I would give her assignments. I had seating charts for her and like our stuffed animals, and I'd put them on the seating chart. And she did not like it too much when I gave her homework because she was probably 3 or 4. But I do remember I taught her to write her name when we were playing school.
I didn't have stuffed animals. I had visible friends.
What's your process for planning lessons?
Well, this Algebra 1B that I'm teaching this year is a class that hasn't been taught yet, so I'm the first one teaching that. And so when I plan my lessons, first I read through all the algebra content and I do the lessons in CPM. And then what I do is I've been looking through the air test, doing old air test questions, and really studying what's going to be on there for you guys. And so then what I do is I go through all of that and I change it based on what I think you guys need, what you're doing well at, and then what you might still need work on. And so I use that as my basis, and then I make all my own lessons from that.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
What's the best part about being a teacher and the most challenging part?
The best part, I really do love it, and I always wanted to do that. And it's never boring. It's always, interesting. The best part is probably when I see somebody finally get something. And you can tell on their face that they're like, oh, I understand this. This wasn't too bad. Because I know a lot of people don't like math or they struggle with math. So when I can get that look on their face that they finally get it and I can see that they're not struggling and they are actually understanding what's going on, that's probably the best part. I'm trying to think about the worst part. It's not fun to get up really early in the morning. So that one's a little rough, and there's a lot of grading to do, but that's what I signed up for. So
What's the hardest part of getting kids to focus on their work?
I'd say a lot of it is that they do struggle sometimes and they are frustrated sometimes. So to get them to focus on their work as much is difficult. Or if they have it later in the day, that's always hard. If I have a class 8th period, it's kind of hard. They've been through a whole school day, and so they're trying to focus on math at the very end of the day after they've been through everything. But as long as I'm like going from person to person, make sure they're okay, I feel like they're focused pretty well.
I think our class does pretty good.
Yeah.
I sit there, I'm just quiet, so.
Yeah, so I try to always like go person to person, make sure everyone's doing okay to get them, on track.
What is your favorite math chapter to teach and why?
Oh, that's a hard one. Let's see. Oh. I actually like a lot of the geometry that I've taught because it's really applicable to day-to-day things. So some of my favorite things are things that are applicable to real life like that. So I know you guys will have geometry. Well, you'll have geometry next year. Do you as well?
No. I'm still in ninth.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I'm sorry. So, yeah, I think geometry and the stuff that's real world applicable. So there's problems about like buying carpeting or painting walls and doing area and volume, things that people will actually use.
How do you use technology in your classroom?
We don't use it as much because I know that the CPM is on the Chromebooks and everything, and people can do that. But I think paper and pencil people work better, and writing the stuff down, they remember it more. But we do use things like Desmos to help us graph things and study things. And we also use things like Delta Math for practicing, or there's videos you could use to help you.
Describe a time when you felt challenged by a student.
The most challenging thing probably, or the times I felt most challenged, is when somebody really doesn't want to put in effort. So it's really hard because I have to try to find a way to get them to want to do something. So my most challenging times are when people do not want to focus at all. So like I don't want to name people, but I know that there's some people that I've had that they just really don't want to do it. They don't like it. And a lot of times it's because they don't know what they're doing. So as long as I keep on them, keep coming back to them, they eventually come around. But that's the most challenging thing, is trying to motivate somebody that's not really motivated, and I have to find a way.
I'm sure teaching takes up a lot of your time. What do you enjoy doing in your free time?
In my free time, I like hanging out with my family. I got 2 little boys. We got a puppy too recently. So we like to have like movie nights and do stuff like that, and set up like a movie theater in the house with like a snack bar, and like sometimes they print out tickets and stuff like that. So that's something I like to do. Or like hang out with my sister and my mom. We like to do stuff outside and go visit and do stuff like that.
That sounds fun.
Sounds cool. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming on to our podcast and taking time out of your busy schedule to be here.
Yes, it was fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you also to our listeners. Feel free to come back any other time to hear Kicking It with Sav and Faith.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.